Welcome back to another episode with Mystic Scales
and Fae Tales podcast. Hello.
On season
3.
3.
How crazy is that?
Woo-hoo. So proud of us. My name is Jen.
And I'm Lee.
And we are the Mystic Scales and Fae Tales podcast, the romance, dystopian, and fantasy podcast of your dreams. Thank you for joining us on today's special long episode.
Yay. Welcome back.
For the start of season 3. Yeah. Episode 1, season 3.
Crazy.
Very exciting. Very crazy. We make almost a year soon, so nice to get to the 3rd season.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm very proud of us, Lee. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of me. I'm very proud of us.
Very.
So this is exciting.
What did we hit recently? You said 1,000 downloads.
1,000 downloads.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
It is. So thank you all that are listening. We appreciate you. We appreciate you coming back every week. And appreciate our book club, because our book club is the one that started this all. So you guys are on Fable. We love you.
For real.
And we're just excited to keep going, honestly. Keep going up from here.
And speaking of book club, this is one that we did with the book club. And luckily, everyone was very engaged, and we had mostly similar opinions. But this week we are talking about Callie Hart Brimstone. One word, who knows? No, not really. We're talking about the second book in the, what is it, Fae and Alchemy series?
I think it is the Fae. I think you're right. I think it's Fae and Alchemy series.
But you all should know, the first one was Quicksilver. That one really blew up on TikTok and the internet. And it is by Callie Hart. And it came out last, April?
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to find it annoyingly on Barnes & Noble. I'm using Barnes & Noble today to look at the back of book ad, and it's going off of the date of the reprint for the
the new cover. Sure.
So it's like, it came out in August, and I said, no, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Quicksilver book. June 3rd, 2024.
Okay, so that was like a year and a half ago. And then Brimstone came out last month.
November of 2025.
Yeah, just about a little over a month ago. So we timed it pretty well, actually, to jump right in.
Yeah, and then the third one is slated for next November.
Does that one have a title?
No, it just says number 3, and it says a deluxe edition. And that should be the last one, because it's only
a trilogy. Oh, how nice.
A trilogy with rumored spin-offs. So, Carrion's story, rumored novellas, maybe, whatever the publisher can probably squeeze out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that means the books are basically like a year apart. Done-wise, which is a lot for an author.
Yeah.
As we will get into it.
Yeah.
As we will get into it. So, yeah, Brimstone by Callie Hart. So, spoilers ahead. If you haven't listened to our episodes before, we do spoil the whole book. We try to go over the entire plot as much as we can, but a lot of times, obviously, we read through it, so we want to, jump around, especially with these fantasies. You want to just, pinpoint the things to connect. So, we appreciate you listening in on that.
Yeah.
If you haven't read the book, you should definitely take a break from this episode. Go to our book club on the app Fable that Lee mentioned, Mystic Scales and Fae Tales book club, and you can read the story along with us. Every chapter, there's comments, there's reactions, there's fan art, as much as we had for so far, because obviously it's a new release. And you can comment along, and then when you're done, come back and watch the episode. Even when we move on to the next book in the book club, you can still go to our archives and go to our other books. Like, we have one of our friends right now just got back into reading, and they were in the group before, and now they're reading The Night and the Moth, and we read that 3 or 4 books ago, but they're commenting now, and we see it, and we comment.
Yeah.
So don't ever be afraid to read the book with us even after we've read it, because we will still engage, and we'll see your comments, and we love that. And then you can come back and listen to this episode. But, like I said, spoilers ahead, so, get your winter coat on for this episode.
Yeah.
What's the outfit of this?
Yeah.
Usually I have a cute thing. I'm like, get your cozy blanket, or get your dragon gear, get your something. This one, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Get your blood.
I know, they
vampire.
don't drink or eat anything special. They just are cold and have fire. And I mean,
Swords.
yeah, Saris has a fox, but we don't have foxes. So I guess cuddle up with your furry friend.
With your furry friend. Yeah, for real though, especially for this book. Cuddle up with your furry friend.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say the deluxe edition is $33.
What? What?
The paperback is not out yet, obviously.
Right.
$33 for the deluxe edition.
Does it have sprayed edges?
Sprayed edges. It has the little onyx in the print of the book, like the imprint. And then when you open it, one side is Carrion Swift, and the other side, like the back, is onyx and a butterfly. But this might be I'm on Barnes & Noble, so it might be the Barnes & Noble exclusive. So other places might have different ones.
Okay. I have thoughts about that, but okay.
Yeah, we did on Audible, so thank God. Duty, blood, honor, power. Sarah Fane doesn't want power. The very last thing she needs is her name whispered on an entire court's lips, but now that she's been crowned Queen of the Blood Court, she's discovering that a queen's life is not her own. A heavy weight rests upon her shoulders. Her ward and her brother need her back in her homeland, but the changes that have strengthened Saris have also made her weak. Born under blazing sun, Saris will surely die if she makes her way home through the Quicksilver, which means that once again she must send someone else in her stead. Keep your mouth shut, stick to the shadows, and for the love of 7 gods, do not crack any jokes. That was the quote. Kingfisher of the Ashen Gate has defeated armies and survived all manner of horrors, but traveling back to Zavarin with Carrion Swift might be just the death of him. The male just will not shut up. Hidden daggers await them down the narrow alleyways of Silver City. Unfolding secrets pose impossible threats. Fisher must wrangle the smuggler and accomplish his goals quickly if he wants to see his mate again. Our darkness falls across Evalia. The realm of their friends are in danger. Together, Saris, Fisher, and will pass through the fire and brimstone to save them. Wait, I'm actually really pissed off reading the back of book I read now.
Okay, yeah.
Because A, that is not what this book is about. And B, this sounds like a novella. Like, this sounds like a nice little novella of them traveling back.
Well,
and it makes it sound like the entire plot is Saris feeling not in power because she can't go back and save her brother when she, like, could give 2 shits.
And that whole scene takes place in, like, 2 chapters.
Literally.
Like, that is...
So why is that the description of this book?
That's insane.
They should be focusing on the rot as a description of this book. Like,
yeah.
That's, oh my God.
And
no wonder people are probably mad because they probably were so excited reading this ad. Because this ad comes out before the book. So they're probably so excited reading this, thinking what they're going to get from the book, and then they didn't.
That's like a whole, that's a journey. And like Fisher and Carrion having their own side, no. Like they do that, but it's so quick. And, oh my gosh, okay. So interesting.
Oh my God. That's so annoying. Okay, great. Love that. Love that for us. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, let's start off with how we rated it, should we?
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and just say I had a higher rating when I started, but then as I reflected and also read other people being just as confused, I think I gave that rating just to be nice. So I went from a 2.5 to just 2. I gave this book 2 stars.
Yeah.
And that's being generous. I think I could have done 1 or 1.5.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked that video you sent the other day. Like that girl said everything so eloquently and just like, and her rating was 1 star, but like it was very much like validated. I think.
Yeah, I'll have to put that video in the description of this.
Yeah. Or like on for YouTube. I think I gave it 3 and I like don't know why. I think that was just being nice. I don't know why you did either. I think that was nice.
The video for everyone listening, just if you want to look it up, it's by Morgan Reads, so MorganReads. She posted it for time of recording this about a week ago, and she goes over like why she does 1 star, and it's really, really well done. So please listen.
Yeah.
But back to you. I think, yeah, you when you told me you gave it 3, I was like, Lee, did we read the same book?
I think, like, honestly, there were a lot of things, obviously, that I had issues with that we talked about, like, whatever. But I think I was just like, okay, I read it. Like, I'm done. And it was like one of those, you have to pick a rating on Fable. And I was just like, sure. Because I don't think I wrote a review.
I don't think you did either.
Because sometimes I'll do that. I'll just be like, no, I'm done with this book. And that's that. Moving on.
You're like, I don't want to think about this ever again.
No, like, I don't need to. I mean, obviously, like, we think about it because we talk about it. But I was like, I don't need to sit here and write something. But yeah, it doesn't deserve a 3. That's for sure.
No, you should probably lower that. You should probably go back and edit that when we're done with this.
Yeah, I'll think a little harder. Because
So remember, Fable saves your ratings and like gives you your stats and stuff. So
that's true. I can't wait to officially. I keep waiting to share my like Fable Wrapped.
Me too.
Because
I want to wait till I'm done.
Yeah, like we need to be on the last day of the year for that. So nothing will change, but I still want to wait. Yeah. So I don't. Where do you want to begin?
Okay. Well, let me see if I can do a quick, fast
like
plot summary.
True.
I don't think that we'll go through this book like
true recap
beat by beat because me and you. Yeah, because I think me and you just will end up talking like straight through it no matter what because we just have so many feelings. Okay, so let's see if I can do it in like 1 minute. Probably not. I'm sorry. Okay, Sarah's Fane. She is woken up Twilight style. She is vampire now. She is half vampire, half fae. Also, she can slow her heart down because she's half vampire. What are her powers? Unknown. It goes throughout the entire book, and you basically don't know what her powers are. But she's still an alchemist somehow. So she is ruler of the vampire court because she killed Malcolm in the last book.
Yeah.
So that immediately makes her the ruler of the court. The vampire's not so happy about that. Also, she's connected to Taladeus, her maker. It's very much like a sire thing. Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah, her brother is still stuck in the mortal realm. Eventually, as the back of the book had said, Carrion and Fisher decide to go back to get him. They also need silver. I don't remember what they need silver for.
I don't either. I think it's for... So she's still making relics. Like, remember that deal she made? She's still making relics for Kingfisher and, like, to help save people. So I think...
And they don't go into, like, how she does that anymore. It's just like, I just made this one.
Yeah. I think she needs the silver for that.
Okay. So they have to go get silver. So they decide to go back to Zilvarin. Is that where they're going?
Sure. Wherever her home is.
The Silver City. Silver City. They have to go back there. She stays behind, and she's trying to deal with the whole, like, vampire court thing, I guess. But also, like, she doesn't want to be there. She keeps going back to, like, Fisher's home in the Feylands. And then when she goes back to the vampire court, she's like, what the fuck? Like, why are you doing all this, Taladeus? Even though she told him to rule in her stead, and she's literally never there. And then... goes well for Fisher and Carrie, and they eventually get the silver. They get the brother. They also got
They did have to fight a demon.
A demon. Yeah, that was very much a scorpion demon.
It was gross.
Where they also got bit, and they had like poisonous drug reactions. And Fisher saw his mother dead, like his dead mother haunting him, and then he also saw Lorv's dead sister haunting him. And Carrie and him bond. They have the best chemistry in the entire book, but they don't kiss. And eventually, Fisher gets back to them because it's very quick.
But
also at the same time, there's a rot. Oh, go
what
ahead.
happens in the middle of it? The dreamscape.
Oh, yeah, we find out that Saris and Fisher literally never want to leave each other alone at any time. So they're connected through dreams. So they go to a dreamscape that when they go to sleep, they can talk to each other, have sex, see each other, do everything they do normally. So they literally never get a moment alone without each other. And apparently they love that because they love to be obsessed with each other. Literally, they say they're obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
Even though we find out this entire plot has been happening in a few weeks. So, like, do they really know each other? No. So then, at the same time, from the beginning of the book, like second or third chapter, we're introduced to another plot line that there's the rot that's coming, which was kind of introduced in the last book because the gods told her that it was like taking over different universes and different branches were dying. So it's like come to their universe. It's like killing people, killing land. Like it's like literally like a black.
It's like they become
cloud essentially coming.
zombies. Or is that just the feeders?
I thought they just die. No, that's just the feeders.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
But the feeders can like have the rot.
Yeah, like
It was
if
very
the
confusing.
feeders have the rot, they're like zombies.
They like spread it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was confusing. Eventually Saris is doing nothing this entire book. They meet Kingfisher's long lost friend that they thought we're never going to hear from again because he became a vampire because he sacrificed his life for Fisher. And then they convinced him like, you're good, bro. You don't eat people. Like you're fine. Like come work with us. She has her badass girl moment in the court with the vampires and shows them like I'm queen. And then Talladez goes behind her back and actually commits genocide with all of the vampire court and kills basically all of them off. They get him back, though, to the Feylands. Ends up the witches were the ones behind it, too, working with Talladez.
Which is one witch. We know one witch.
One witch. And everyone was like, oh, what? Betrayed by her because they thought that she was working with them the whole time. And she's like, I saw an opportunity to take down the vampires, and I went for it. So TBD on the vampires, but they're back at Fisher's court, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, the rat is coming. We gotta go." So they all like dip, and
his sister.
When they're, oh my god, Everlane's still out,
but then she gets like possessed.
She does get possessed
by his mom.
Yeah, his mom. His mom held her spirit and held her soul to this plane. And she went through pain to do that, I guess. So that way she could talk to Saris because she crafted a book for Saris because the mom was a seer. So she's able to see to the future. So she knew everything that was going to happen. She gave this book to Saris so that she could read it each time something happened so she can have advice going forward for the future, which is cheating in my opinion. And then, then they abandon Fisher's home. But as they're going through the Shadow Gate, Fisher somehow gets pulled. So she's like, "Where's Fisher?" Come to find out, she like does her dreamscape thing, and like comes to find out that he got captured by Belicon because she was working with what's the serial's version in this one? What's the name? Hijack.
Oh, yeah.
Hijack or Hi.
Oh my gosh, you asked how it was spelled.
So there's a character in this book basically we keep compared to the serial in Akatar that is like a weird creature that can like has powers and can predict things, I guess.
Yeah,
not even
see
predict things. Like just see things or help them, whatever. So they give Saris a rune on her body. Also, like this whole book, she's been getting tattoos every time they have sex. Her and Fisher, and she also has like been having these runes on her body she needs to close because the magic is too powerful that her magic makes no sense. And with the help of this creature, she's able to find Fisher, and Belicon was like trying to like kill him. She somehow works it out that doesn't happen. They try to kill Belicon, they try to take his head off. It doesn't work. Well, his head comes off, but he doesn't die.
Right.
They also figured out that like Madra created the Silver City and has been taking magic and soaking up the magic because of the way that she built it is a huge rune. She's taking all the magic from her citizens essentially and using that power. So she might be sending the Reapers through, which we don't know what that plot is or what her motive is. We'll find out, I guess, hopefully eventually.
We'll see.
They escape, Fisher and Saris. The fox almost dies. The fox doesn't die because Saris uses her rune that she could have used for a million other things for the fox. Mind you, I'm an animal lover. I love my foxes, but this was dumb writing. And then they, I don't remember how they even get here, but they go to the dragon realm, and Fisher's a god.
Apparently.
Didn't say anything. this entire time. His dad's a god, so he's like a half god. Didn't say anything. And Fisher's trying to get the dragons, even though he killed some, to help with the rot because they need brimstone.
Oh, okay. Because, like, right, we learned that they need brimstone to kill the rot, the feeders, whatever.
Rot.
We learned that the fire sprites, like, their blood is brimstone.
Oh, true.
But there's, like, a finite amount. And so they, like, like, if someone gets hurt, like, Archer gets hurt, and they, like, the sprites themselves, like, agree, okay, we're gonna, like, sacrifice some, like, each, like, give him some of our brimstone so he can, like, live. So, like, they're not gonna kill all the fire sprites to get brimstone, even though they need it. But now they're going to the dragons to get brimstone. I felt like that was so far out there. Like, the book is called Brimstone, and she mentions it like 3 times. Like, that's it. And this dragon time is at the end, and it's so spaced out from the fire sprite thing. Her endings are terrible.
No sense.
They're so
Literally
confusing.
terrible. And the fact that we ended that last book, and they did say that the gods, like, decided they want nothing else to do with their realm, right?
Right.
But, like, we didn't hear about this again. We didn't hear from a god again.
Nope.
Nobody questions the god thing.
Nope.
They bring it up maybe like twice, and they're like, oh, they finally tell their friends, because they didn't tell their friends at first, that she like met the gods. And then, like, Fisher doesn't bat an eye, because he's like, I've dealt with the god so much, because, like, I find out his dad is a god. But, like, I'm telling you, like, next book, Sarah's is gonna be like, oh my god, Fisher's a god. Like, she's not gonna be mad at the fact that, like, he didn't tell her any of this.
Right. Yeah, and I think one of the big things, like, even as you're, like, going through this recap, like, how many times were we like, oh, there's foreshadowing, oh, like, she's building this, and then nothing happened. And it was like, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, there was a really great member in our book club that I guess they were reading on their Kindle, and every time we had questions, they were, like, going back and, like, grabbing the information for us. But also, like, they had so many theories as they were reading, and, like, none of their theories came through, but their theories were so good that afterwards we were like, you should write book 3.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably connect this better than
she did.
The author.
Yeah. Because, like, in a way, and I think you have a problem with this a lot, like, if the foreshadowing is very heavy-handed, you're like, okay, like, I get it, it's predictable. And we, like, saw that, but then nothing came of it. And that's, like, even worse writing.
That's really frustrating. That's really bad writing. I would rather it either the foreshadow be, like, really good, where you're not, like, I don't catch on to it or whatever.
Right.
Or I would rather be the opposite. Like, if you're going to have really heavy handling foreshadow, then at least I can accept that. And it's like the whole book is foreshadow, and then all of it happens. Like, you can predict the entire plot. Okay, then I know what I'm signing up for. Then I'm just here for a good time. Like, it's fine if I can predict the entire plot, whatever. Maybe I don't need a jaw-dropping moment. But if I know that already, then it's fine.
Right.
But this is worse. You're giving me this hope that I'm going to predict it and whatever, and then you're going to throw me the other way. I've seen a lot of people comment about this book that there's no trust in the reader. And I think that is so true. It's like the author does not trust that you're going to A, follow along, B, like, figure things out, or just, like, be able to fall into this world building and, like, actually be engulfed into it and feel like you're part of the world, because you don't with this.
Yeah, that makes me think of one of the things Morgan said was, there's so many plots happening that it's so heavily told, not shown. Like the author,
But you hate that.
yeah, I mean, but she's so right. Like, the author has to explain too much to be like, this is happening, oh, because, you know, this happened, and then, like, this was happening here, and this person was over here, and they feel this way. And I was like, what? Like, why am I doing this? But I really like that notion of like she doesn't trust the reader.
Nope.
That sucks.
Nope. And it does suck. And then like you're just expecting so much, but it's not in a way that you're like, oh, this was a big book, I'm expecting a lot, like the author's not gonna be able to pull it off. It's more of just like I'm just expecting like the story to make sense to me,
or to move,
and for me to like,
yeah,
go ahead, or
to move along.
Or to move along, yeah. And I was just getting so frustrated as I was reading this because I felt like I wasn't understanding because there was so much that made no sense. Nothing was connecting, and I don't like I don't need everything to be like everything doesn't need to connect right away. Obviously not. It's a book.
It's a
story.
series, yeah.
Yeah, but there's some things that do need to connect and do need to connect as you're reading it. Because otherwise, you're going to get disinterested, you're going to get frustrated, and when the final moment of things make sense, come to fruition, you're going to just be upset by it. Because you're like, not that I didn't figure it out, it's no, that you just piece it together really bad. It's like you're like putting back together this puzzle, and you're putting all the pieces in the wrong place. And then you're like, well, if you just flip it, look, it looks good, you got it right. And you're like, what? No. Like,
yeah, no.
Like, that's not how this works.
No. And another thing I felt was like, I think the places she's created are very interesting. Like I love seeing like the visual renditions online of the different like cities and courts and whatever. I think that's very cool. But I feel like we're never in those places like long enough to understand. Nope. And I know that you commented like, what is the court kingdom whatever situation?
Yes, the Fae kingdom.
Are we in a country? Are we in a continent? Like, what is going on? So definitely agree with that. And then also just none of the characters develop. They're so flat. And I like you came to a good realization about Saris that I think we need to go into.
Oh my gosh, yes, you're right. But I also just wanted to comment on that. Like, I feel like in that first book we got like that really beautiful town that he takes her to.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They mention it quickly that he like goes there by himself, I think. But like we don't get to like go visit that again. I can't get a visual of what this world looks like in terms of his land, because they keep going back to his like castle, and he like lives in this like winter-esque area. But again, I don't understand where he rules over. Is he just like ruling this castle? Does he have like people he rules over? Like, is it courts like where it's different sections? Is it that he just runs the army in that section? Like, none of it makes sense. I know when I asked that in the chat, one of the people in our group was able to explain that's like Belicon is the overall arching ruler of the Fae Kingdom. It should be Carrion's family, but Belicon did a whole Game of Thrones thing and like chopped off people and whatever took the throne. But these different lands are run by different Fae people, but they all report and they swear fealty to Belicon. But Belicon can't give any leeway against Kingfisher because of how far, well, that in the book previously it was because of how far his kingdom is to where Belicon sits in his throne. But now it might be because Fisher's half god.
But he could still control him by his like name, which was
but that's a Fae thing.
Yeah, but it's a I don't know.
It's a dumb plot point. But what Lee was alluding to with my reason with Saris, I was like, I think we don't like Saris for many reasons, but it's this character is very much that she doesn't really do anything. It's like she shows up to these places and things happen. And throughout the book, that was like constant. And it was just like, especially with the vampire thing, she shows up and things happen. The only thing she really like stood out in a sense was when she was like having court in the vampire court. They're assigning that new person and she ends up choosing the friend. And she acts all like, I'm badass, whatever. But you even pointed out that you felt like that was even out of character for her. I just haven't really been able to connect with Sarah to be able to believe that has this power or this like this strength or like this motivation. Like, I know they constantly talk about like she's like, I went through hell for Hayden and me to have water and whatever.
Right.
And when they have their blowout, like, yes, it's kind of cruel the things that Hayden says, But I was even like, I kind of believe Hayden not knowing what was happening, because me as the reader, I don't even feel like I know what happened. I didn't get enough time with her in that realm, to begin with. I didn't get enough time to understand what she went through, or even in flashbacks or her talking about it. A great example of someone who does this, though, is who does it right, is in the Powerless series with Lauren Roberts. She does it really well with, oh my God, what's her name?
Hayden.
In Powerless. Hayden.
Yeah.
Hayden, thank you. I'm thinking Hayden for this one. Hayden, where we don't get like a huge amount of time with her when she's living in the slums, but as she's going through her experience where she's away from the slums, you are still learning about her backstory and what she went through, and you're seeing her strength in that, and you're believing her as a character that she does have this strength, she does have this motivation, she does have these like skills. Where Sarah's, I don't believe her. I don't believe in her skill set. I don't believe in her strength. I don't believe in her like intelligence in that. And especially throughout this book, as she's like landing in these places and going from here to there, because she's just like, I'm here, the next day I'm here, the next day I'm here.
Right.
She's like going back and forth between these places, and she's not really doing much of anything at all. And then when she says she's doing something like making the relic, she's just like, I made a relic, I did this. You're like, I still don't understand what your powers are. Like, I really, really don't. I know that she doesn't understand her powers either, because she's learning it because there's no alchemist. But I also feel like the author is not portraying to us what the powers she's facing right now are. Because I don't know what they are. I don't know what she can do and not do. And I also feel that way with Fisher. And I feel that way with the Fae. I get really confused with the way that this author's explaining the different magics people have. How, like, some of them are, like... It's what I've come to the conclusion is it sounds like some of them are, like, they have proficiencies in things that others don't.
Yeah.
But they also have lesser magic they can pull on, but not much of that lesser magic.
Yeah.
Just like how she alludes to Carrion probably having his proficiency in herbology, essentially, where they all thought originally might be fire, like things like that. So, all that to say, it makes me upset when you get to like these very high points of action, and I'm just supposed to believe that Saris can do a lot of things that she ends up doing, because I don't. And then you point that out a lot with the training sessions too.
Yeah. Right, because she has like one training session with Lorith, and then the next, I don't know, 10 pages, she has a massive fight, and she literally writes that she was a natural. And I was like, how can she be a natural? She just picked up these swords. And like, she even complained to Fisher that she couldn't hold her sword. It was too heavy. So she had to, this was cool, she got to make it into 2.
Yeah.
But, and I'm also just thinking about, so when she was like in her homeland, she had, I think his name is Elroy, the guy who had the forge. And
yeah, who ends up knew everything the entire time.
Right. So like we learn that, I mean, he knew, and he like had obviously her back and was like, I don't know, curating things for her back then. And then now, like you say, like you're describing how she like chooses the friend Foley to like be the new, but like she didn't choose that. She was told to do that by Fisher's mom. So like again, she didn't do anything. She's just a little pawn moving about the board. And
yep. And it really feels like that. It kind of feels like it should have been Fisher's story and not Saris's story.
Yeah.
I mean, we said it could have been Carrion's story.
Yeah.
Carrion's story alone could have been its own book.
Yeah.
And it should have been.
Yeah.
But not written by the same author.
And he doesn't, like, he barely grows in this. And we really thought that he was going to be a highlight in this story. Another thing just about Saris is there's a point where Fisher is talking about her. And I think he's talking about how he is seeing her and Hayden, or maybe he doesn't see it at first, and he's like describing all these things he like knows and loves about Saris, how strong she is, how whatever. And I'm just like, when did you see that? Like, where did you see that? I don't, like, show me on the page, please, because I'm not feeling the same way, and I should be. I think there wasn't one person in our group who was enamored by these two anymore.
Kingfisher and Saris.
Yes. I don't know who is shipping them, like who is claiming them as a good couple.
And I kind of like, if you do, I think I'm gonna further question you and your romantic endeavors, or like how you view romance, because this is like kind of scary. And I love that there was somebody in our book club that was pointing that out. They're like, this is like really scary. This is not like cute. Like this is getting to like scary, like obsession territory. And I mean, she says obsession in it. It's constantly, I mean, they already made the joke on TikTok, mate, 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 mate. Like every other sentence is like, my mate, my mate, my mate. And the reason that I'm like, this would be great if she doesn't end up with this person. Like if this was like a book one where it's like the lover you thought was going to come but then didn't come, like if it was like a Tamlin or something like that, even though it would feel like a ripoff. But the way that she set this up actually felt like that, because it's like you can see all the red flags, you know, like you're like, oh, I was there in the beginning, you're kind of like feeling with Sarah. She's like, yeah, I'm here for it, but then you're like, as we peel back each layer, we're getting red flag after red flag after red flag, and we're not loving that, and then it'll come to fruition later, and which would be great if you had another character that was the like opposite side, that was like showing like, oh, maybe this person she should be with instead. But that's not the case in this. In this, we just get a really possessive partner who doesn't want to leave. They both don't want to leave each other alone for a minute. And that's why I mentioned the dream thing of them literally never escaping each other. Because imagine that. Imagine that the person you love, yes, you want to spend all your time with them, but you literally never get a second alone. Because they're connected by mind. They can talk to each other through their minds. They're literally wanting to be up each other's ass all the time. And if they're not together, when they go to sleep at night, they see each other, so they're together. So it's like you never get a second alone to be yourself on top of that, which is already concerning. And then they kind of don't really know each other. And I think what it is that, you know, Sarah does talk about how she's never had someone there for her and feeling this love and understanding from someone. Yeah, it's the first person who, like, you fell for, and that's great, but that's where that could be a red flag in that, because you could be looking past things that are right in front of you because you feel so understood in that moment, because you haven't had that previously. And so that's just really scary.
And why isn't she more guarded? Like, if her background was so, like, I'm just, like, scrapping for everything, like, I gotta do things for myself, you know, I feel like that person would not let someone in. And I mean, like, they obviously didn't get along at first because it was an enemies to lovers, and like really hated each other. And so, like, I get, like, they were building tension and that could have, like, cracked, and like they have their moment together. That makes sense. But she's still not going to be, like, madly in love with him. But she is. And they say, like, oh, they're not going to get married because he doesn't know his real name. Which, when you say it, sounds ridiculous.
It does. And that's also where my girlfriend started listening randomly when I was playing it. And she was like, what is happening? And I was just like, I don't know how to explain this to you. Yeah, and I think this is what the problem is, or the struggle is, of making the love story complete in the first book. Which is 100% doable. I actually think it's intriguing when you do stuff like that, when you make the love story complete in the first book, because then throughout it you can show the relationship. And I actually think, like, you know, Fourth Wing for what it is, like the things we don't like or do like about it, Rebecca's doing a really good job at sustaining the relationship, or the love relationship, where they're still in love with each other, but you're putting them through trials and tribulations to test that, and to test them through it, and to test how much they know each other. And I think that's so intriguing. And I remember when you talked about that series you read, that really, really long one on Kindle that you read, and that was another one that you mentioned where they were, like, established and married, and they were married, and you were seeing that go through at the book. So that's intriguing. You can definitely do it, and it is cool, because, you know, sometimes we get these series where they get together, like, towards the end, and you're like, oh, I wish I could see after, or see if they last. So that's why you get these. But this, I'm like, oh my god, I want you guys to break up, like, yesterday. I'm like, you guys are just, like, the way you talk about each other, how you really don't speak to each other and communicate correctly. You also...
They don't speak about what's going on. They just don't communicate in the most, like, basic sense of the word. And even like the first time they're together in that like dreamscape, it's only because like they've been apart for 2 days and they're fiending for each other. When there's actual like things happening that Saris needs to like tell him like about the rot and stuff like that, and she doesn't. I'm like, girl, you need to sit down and talk to the man.
Yep. And
like, put feelings aside. Bad things are happening.
Yes. 100%. And I've seen a lot of reviews too, people saying that, where they were like, yes, this author might be known for like people like the smut that's in it, but they were even going past the smut because they were annoyed
Literally.
trying to understand what the plot was. It's like literally you're reading it, you're like, bro, why are you having sex right now? Like, this is not important. And I don't feel like it's important as a reader. It doesn't feel like organic in that. And that's really, really frustrating. Because it ruins the brand of romantasy. Then it falls into those like, people roll their eyes at what we're critiquing, making fun of, you know, like it's not done well then, and you're kind of like ruining what the genre is, that aspect with that stuff.
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes where I was just like, I don't want, I'm just gonna skip. Like I skipped some of her training. I was like, I don't need to listen to this. When they decided to have a ball, like eventually the ball did lead to something.
The only good plot
but she
in
was
this book.
Right. They were like, we're gonna have a ball, and I was like, why are we like segueing this story right now? She has to go put on a dress. I think Fisher describes the dress, and I was like, I don't fucking care what you think the dress looks like. I'm sure it's beautiful, but that's not what I'm reading this for.
Yeah, that really bothered me too. She was this whole like, oh, that's such a great point you brought that up. The whole dress thing was really infuriating, because we knew that in book 1 that she is that trope of a character who is like, I can't wear a dress. I'm a girl. I'm a fighting girl, and dresses don't mean anything, which is like bullshit. Like, yeah, we don't have to follow. You don't have to wear dresses because you're a girl, but if you feel powerful in a dress, fuck yeah, wear a dress. Whether you're a girl, boy, whoever you are, a dress can be fucking powerful, just like pants and a tunic can be. Just saying. We've seen that in multiple other books with other characters. So A, that point aside. B, when she has to go up with the wardrobe person, and she has the audacity to say to them, can't you just guess it? And then that person has the best clapback ever of like, this is my job, you know, I have been this person for da-da-da-da. I'm like, yes, speak back, because you're acting, she sounds like a child, Saris, half the time when she's complaining. And then she also would be like, she told Halliday, yeah, run in my favor. And then when she comes back and he's like saying things that happened or whatever, she's like what they put people in front of the door that was like where the Quicksilver was, I think. And she was like annoyed by that. And I was like, girl, you're never there. You're not in the vampire court to rule the vampire court, so why would you be mad about him ruling over the vampire court?
Right. You're not even taking the time to learn about the court, you know? And I don't want to like segue too much, but I felt like, talking about foreshadowing again, I felt like Teledeus was set up to be like super sketchy, and you're kind of like, do we want to trust this man? And she just like blindly does. And then it turns out like, yeah, he does a really bad thing, and he like also wants to kill himself because he hates himself and the person that he loves, which was a whole other side thing that I had to like re-listen to because I was confused. But it ends up being they still love him, and he's just like a troubled guy, and I was just thinking, you missed like a villain here. You know, why? That would have been a cool plot twist. I mean, we saw it coming.
Yep.
But it wasn't
I
real.
The villain would have been the person he loved, and then you would have had that really great tension of him having to choose the sides of it, and that great character explanation of someone being in love with a villain and them having to explain themselves because they knew that villain before they entered that villain phase of their life.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to constantly hope that person will. You have the hope and want that they're going to go back. You know who they are at their core. Like, they're going to be past this. So it's like a full, like, that's a whole book within itself. And so, like, that would have been great. And I 100% agree with you. And it was just so, like, lost. And my main question was, I was like, so the vampire court was never visited again. Like, she said she's going to go back, but then, like, the book ended. Like, are all the vampires dead? Like, did everyone just, like, live in this vampire castle and they all came here? Like, there are no other vampires outside of the castle? I'm confused.
It was basically, like, they were given a choice. Like, you could either return to your form before you were turned, and most of those people were horrible people.
Yeah.
Or you would just die. And the crazy thing was, like, a lot of people chose to die. And I mean, in a way, that's kind of like a unique critique on, you know, you could look at it as like our world today and like certain people in power. So, like, I can give her that. But again, you're right. There's no picking up the pieces. There's no Sarah's being like, well, maybe I try to like reform the people who chose to live. There's just no thought of them.
But I'm just questioning, is there no more vampires then? Does that mean that all vampires are gone? Like, was that every single vampire that existed?
I mean, probably
was just
not.
There, or it was just the higher court ones? Because that's what my assumption was when I was reading this book, is that like there's like the high court and all these like high nobility essentially, and I thought that they were all there for this like red wedding-esque murder. But then I was like, what about like the people that was serving her, the guy who served her, like who was like a younger vampire, like all of those people are still alive, so they're like, they're still vampires, they're just not royalty vampires, right? So then doesn't she rule those people?
I think so.
But she doesn't go back for it? Like,
and I also think, so we know with the feeders, if you kill their like sire, you kill them all. So is that the same? I assume, no, it can't be, because like Teledeus was dying and she didn't die.
Oh, I thought you meant with the feeders. Like, if you killed the feeder sire, all the
yeah,
feeders
but
died?
I was gonna say, like, so does that mean that the vampire, is it the same for like the vampires? Because a feeder is just a type of vampire. I was like, so the vampires that died in the court, did their like offspring perish?
That could be a real thing. They do that in Vampire Diaries.
I feel like that's a common thing.
Diaries. So. But yeah, so that could answer that, but she would have to just write that off in the next book. But yeah, that is a way that she could wrap that up in that sense, that everyone that was in that room, essentially everyone that was in that room, like even if they chose to be Fae, they still ended their vampire life, so everybody else would die.
Yeah.
But also, you making that point about the feeders, that makes sense now a little bit more with the feeder story, because I was very lost in the feeder story. So if that's the case, again, we could be wrong, because
I'm pretty sure
this book is confusing.
There's a scene where that happens. I'm pretty sure. But anyways.
So that makes sense then, because that makes sense why in the beginning of the book Fisher was surprised to see feeders across the river, and that's why they were trying to figure out the feeders the whole time, and they thought it was from Bellicon. Okay, this makes so much sense now. So it ends up the feeders are actually coming from Madra, most likely. She figured that out. So that makes sense. So the feeders that Malcolm had were all dead. And so then, because I remember they mentioned, like, the Horde and her keeping back the Horde because she, like, commanded it. So, like, that was a little confusing. So I'm just going to go with what you just said, because that makes more sense. That if the original sire dies, the feeders die.
Yeah.
Sure.
But now we have, like, super feeders who also, like, soak up magic. So they can't use magic.
Against them, yes.
And then there was the feeder who looked just like Ren, and then we never spoke about it, and then turns out Ren was fine.
Oh my god. That was so frustrating. I'm still mad about that. Like, that's a terrible use of, like, not trusting your audience. Like, that's perfect.
And again, that was a communication thing that, like, she should have told Fisher, hey, Ren is missing, and I saw, like, a dead guy who looked just like him. Should we not talk about it?
I also want to point out,
I was just gonna say that there's a lot of, like, loose ends.
I was gonna say that we saw a comment on TikTok that someone put that they pointed out that, like, the only positive female character is, like, Saris and the and I would say the healer too.
Taylena.
But like everyone else is all of the other female characters are painted so poorly throughout this book, and painted so, like, evil, and it's so surprising coming from a, like, we expect that a lot with, like, males writing romantasy, not to, like, you know, be stereotypical, but it happens. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Like this is a female author, and they're writing their female characters so like, badly with Sarah's, but like so cruel with the other ones, and like none of them have depth, or like they just don't have.
They don't have any depth. Yeah,
backstory
I
to
mean,
them either. Yeah, they don't have any depth.
Like Taylena is kind. She's the healer, but that's okay. The mom, I don't even know. Like, she's just a plot device. So, okay.
Yeah, she's not really a character.
Everlane is, the damsel in distress.
Coma.
So she's nothing. Danya is a bitch. And what's her name? Ishabal is the witch. And so she was interesting to me at first because, like, Lorith comes and has to, like, retrieve her, and he hates it. Like, and this is a side story that has depth. So I was like, oh, like, what's going on with these two? Like, is it just going to be a romantic thing? Or, like, what don't we know? And then, like, of course, nothing happens with those two, or, like, really anything. All we learn is that Ishabal was helping Taladeus because she's a witch, and they threatened to send her back to her witches.
Yeah, I also don't know why they didn't her. Like I get that they didn't feel like they weren't in on it, and also like because they didn't tell, like she didn't tell them everything. But also like with Tal, like she didn't say like he needed to die for the spell to work, and then he doesn't die. And then like I guess they all almost die because like fire or whatever. But I just was like, you don't need to be this mad at her. Like, come on.
Is
like,
she the one?
Sarah's like really wants to be like the vampires can be redeemed. Girl, you're never there. How do you know that? The only vampire you actually know is Taladeus.
Is Ishabal the one that they're like holding hostage or something, and then Sarah's like barges in and she's like, "Oh, we take prisoners now" or something?
Yes, because they wanted to torture. Because Lorith uses magic against her, and Lorith like never uses his magic because it's like against his like code from where he's from. Because we got all this random backstory we don't need. Yeah, but they're holding her hostage, and they threatened to send her back to her coven because her coven doesn't know she did all of this, even though they're probably going to be like, okay, and murdered all the vampires. Great.
Yeah, that scene, I thought Sarah's overreacted because like she literally wasn't in the room. And I felt like Lorith was reacting emotionally, and like I don't think he was actually going to hurt her. I think he was just like lashing out. And then Sarah's comes in and she's like, "What are you doing? Oh my God." And I was like, "Bitch, what are you doing? Like, just stop and assess the situation. Talk to them." I like that we have so many concrete examples of why this book really got us. And we're not just like, tra-la-la, it sucks.
Okay. Literally. And then let's talk about the fox real quick before we wrap it up. I've seen other people agree with me on this, that we feel the ruin was used stupidly by Saris. I was hoping, not that I wanted the fox to die. Foxes are my favorite animal. I was hoping, I told Lee this, that they would do some kind of, again, because we don't really like understand her magic. We don't understand her magic. We don't understand Fisher's magic fully. The cat, this shadow cat, was talked about so much throughout the book, right? I was hoping that was what would happen here, is that she would like use her powers or his powers or whatever. Callie can throw in whatever line she wanted to about the world that makes no sense, and kind of make the fox Onyx into this like shadow fox. So yes, it's dead, but it's not dead. You know, it's like in between. And then the fox is, I think, attached to not the fox, the cat. I don't think it's attached to the library because it's left the library. But like, if it had to be attached to something, it'd be attached to her. So in a way, this fox will also never die because it's like the shadow fox. So you never have to worry about this again. So you using this like ruin to bring it back to life. I'm like, okay, well, what about next book or in the future? The fox eventually will die.
Yeah. And
it's an animal. That is life. So if you really want this animal to stay connected to this character,
yeah, there was, because again, and like this already pissed me off. The prologue is about the fox.
Oh, true.
Fisher's with the fox, has to save the fox. And like we did the audiobook. So like every chapter, is minutes. The prologue was 40 minutes long. That is too long. And the whole thing was about the frickin' fox. I was annoyed. Like, from the jump, I was annoyed. And then to have, not like the same scene, but like another scene where the fox is in trouble, I was just like, what are you doing? Like, what is the significance? Because then you're just throwing it away by having her like and it was just so like reckless for her to heal him and for Fisher to let her. I was just like, how many times did he talk about, the magic has been used up, or like I don't have enough, and he just like lets her use it. Like, again, same, I'm an animal lover, like I wish I had a warning that something was going to happen to this fox, because I had no inclination that would have happened. But I was really like, this is dumb. And to be like, in the last 20% of the book, to have this be like a quote major plot point, no, this is not worth my time.
There was someone in our book club that kept pointing out that they thought the fox was the fox, and this was a great moment where that could have been revealed. And I was waiting for that, where it was like revealed that it's like a person or someone's soul or the mom or I don't know, something. Because like the connection between Sarah's and this fox, and the fox always like the fox literally goes through mountain ranges, like Fisher said, like that are like impossible to track just to get to Sarah's. So I'm like, okay, this fox is not just a fox. Like, there's no way it's just a fox. And she might like throw that in the next book because she wants to, but then that's even more frustrating in that. And it's just like,
why are you waiting?
Also, like, no one's died on top of that. Like, again, this like, no one's died, and I'm just like, okay, so like, what is really happening that's really like that terrible for us? And not that I want the fox to die. Again, I don't want the fox to die.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that maybe like she just built up in this book that she thinks or is going to resolve in the third one, but it's just not done. Like, the pacing of that isn't well done,
because the concepts are really there,
and
the concepts are there, but they're just not executed well, and they're different books. Each one's a different book.
My gosh, yes. And even the last chunk of the book is a different book. It happened in the first one, it happened in this one. I don't know why I was surprised.
Yeah, you're 100% right. The last part of this book is totally different book, and totally unnecessary, and totally frustrating. And I feel like we have, like, the fact that Madra is, like, barely mentioned throughout this, I'm like, that was a huge plot point of one, wasn't it? Like, why is that not being solved? The Bellicon thing, frustrating. And, like, we have all that. We have the Bellicon, we have Madra, we have the Rot, we have the Vampire Court, maybe. We have so much going on. Everly not waking up. And then we have now this dragon plot trying to get Brimstone, but is that enough Brimstone to save every universe? Like, that was also mentioned in the first book. I thought we were about to be time traveling in this, or not time traveling, realm jumping in this book because of the first book's mention of it. Like, is she trying to...
That's true. And even that back a book ad, you said they go back.
It's just so frustrating. But I really don't know how this author will wrap this up in one book, and they probably won't, honestly. And we're gonna read it because we've read it here, and we're gonna keep going. But I guess it's just an example that is a series that was really, really hyped up and has not lived up to the hype. And we even reviewed Quicksilver. We didn't love it either. We were like, it's okay.
No. So would you say this one's worse?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I kind of like blended them together in my head, so I don't really... But yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, you had to do a heavy recap. But yeah, no, I think this is worse. I think what really got me was the no development. Like, nothing moves. The people don't move. So yeah, that's Brimstone.
I agree. I think this is a series I will not be recommending to people. And we will finish it up when the next book comes. And I don't think this is something I would read again from, like, I wouldn't read another book by this author, I'm being completely honest. Like, it's not for me. She just needs a really, really good editor to put her straight.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even want to, like, I was gonna say, like, oh, if she just did, like, more smutty books, she might be okay, but I'm not gonna read that.
No.
So.
Me either.
No.
But that is a wrap on Brimstone by Callie Hart and our full review of it. Let us know your thoughts of this book. Let us know in TikTok, in Instagram, in YouTube, all the social medias that we are on. Let us know in our book club on the app Fable, the Mystic Scales book club. We are going to be diving into Enchantra next because we started Phantasma, which we loved. So this is exciting to go back to that world and this author that we are obsessed with. And then after that, we'll probably do a new series. So stay tuned for that. We also have
Give us Rex.
Give us Rex. We also have a side quest book club on the app Fable, literally called Side Quest, Mystic Scales Side Quest. We're doing some holiday reads right now, but then we'll also do some fun other like duologies or just one-off books. Yeah, so find us on Fable, find us on YouTube, on Instagram, and TikTok. Anything else to wrap us up, Lee?
No, I was gonna say, try to change our mind. Like, give us some comments on why you enjoyed this book. But I'm gonna be truthful and say you would have to work pretty hard to change my mind. So I'm happy to hear what you have to say, but I'm gonna get off this and go lower my rating on Fable.
I think I'm waiting for the better fan fiction to be written. I want someone to take the concept and write a better book. As like
maybe
fan
that's
fiction.
you.
No, I don't have time. That's why I don't want to. Also, I don't like these characters. But somebody else.
But you can make them better.
True. I tasked somebody else to do it. Please make it better, and we appreciate it.
We would happily check it out.
Yes. But overall, thank you so much for listening. We hope that you are diving into a great read right now, and happy reading.
Happy reading.